connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Good morning, Idaho, into our second hour on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're off to a great start. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, and we've got a lot to get to this morning from our large team of neighborhood reporters, like our Greenlee Clark, closely following the trial of those two suspects accused of kidnapping and torturing a teenager in the Eagle foothills for hours. She brings us updates from their preliminary hearings this morning. Also, our CUNA neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey highlighting the self-proclaimed keeper of the creek, who over the years has hauled out thousands of pounds of trash from Indian Creek while beautifying the banks with handmade signs. We'll get to all those stories and much more coming up in just a moment. But first, let's get the latest on our weather with Sophia Cruz. Good morning, Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Roland. It's going to be another really good day for us here, especially if you enjoyed the weekend and even yesterday. So weather-wise, there's not very much change just yet. As you head out for the bus stop this morning, kiddos, you've got those mid-40s on, so you want to grab the jacket and keep it with you throughout the day. We remain pretty cool throughout. By the afternoon and the time you're coming home, you've got upper 60s. Going to be a nice day to spend some time outside, even as you head home from school. So enjoy this perfect weather that we're getting. As we head into the weekend, Roland, we're still looking at those rain chances and even a dusting of snow.
Now, my favorite weather, temperatures in the high 60s. All right, thanks, Sophia. Appreciate it. Hey, we start this morning with a major overnight development in Nampa, a story that we've been covering for some time now, and it's a story new this morning. Our Keith Burrell has Nampa City Council's decision on the future of the Ford Idaho Center.
After weeks of listening to public feedback and discussion amongst council, Nampa City Council has voted 4-2 to convey the Ford Idaho Center to the College of Western Idaho. I'm your Nampa neighborhood reporter Keith Burrell, and I was in chambers for all 6 hours of public testimony. A vote.
4 in favor, 2 opposed, motion carries.
Addressing growth in Nampa.
For the 50% of you that this is going to make real upset, I hope you remembered all the decisions that I made before this moment and all that I'll continue fighting to make after the fact. Yes.
The Ford Idaho Center is one step closer to being owned by the College of Western Idaho.
I'm here to support the transfer to CWI.
Hundreds showed up.
I feel this is being rammed down our throat, whether it's right or wrong.
To speak out in support and oppose to transferring ownership of the Ford Idaho Center to the CWI. The weeks leading up to Monday night's vote has caused divide between city council members, and they felt it as council seats are up for re-election.
I think Councilman Griffin said it best tonight. It pretty much split our council down the middle.
Stakeholders from all the involved organizations, CWI, the Idaho Center, and Snake River Stampede, provided testimony. For the Stampede, reality set in March when the city informed them the budgeting was so tight, further maintenance and improvements would not be possible in the future.
Furthermore, as a good partner, they provided a potential opportunity at that time, and that was the conveyance to CWI, who could do those things in the future and honor the facility and continue to provide for the gem of Nampa, which is the Ford Idaho Center.
As the city is planning for its future growth, so is the College of Western Idaho.
We've continued to maintain a point of view, which is that this is a moment in time to plan for the academic growth of this college. We are over 31,000 students served. And the ability to plan for a 200-acre campus versus our current 100 really represents an amazing moment of opportunity.
And the next step in the process is going to be a vote by College of Western Idaho's board, and this college tells me that that's going to happen in the next few weeks. From Nampa, I'm your Nampa neighborhood reporter Keith Burrell for Idaho News 6.
I'm your Eagle neighborhood reporter Greenlee Clark at the Ada County Courthouse, where 2 men accused of kidnapping an 18-year-old in the Eagle foothills last month appeared for a preliminary hearing. It's a story we've been following for you since police announced the arrests of 22-year-old Steen Lamb and 21-year-old Devin Larson. I was inside the courtroom Monday morning when Larson, who previously posted bond, waived his right to a preliminary hearing. Lamb remains in custody on $500,000 bail and appeared via Zoom. The judge set his next hearing for the 20th. Larson is expected back in court on the 15th. As we've previously reported, both men are accused of luring 18-year-old Jordan Carrillo to the Eagle foothills for a photo shoot, before prosecutors say the victim was tased, tied up, and beaten for hours. You can watch our exclusive sit-down with the victim and our previous reporting on the case on IdahoNews6.com. I'm your Eagle neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
The Nampa pastor Matthew Masowitz, facing 13 felony charges related to child pornography, is due back in court today. As we reported, he was arrested in late September after investigators served search warrants at his home and church. Investigators say they found disturbing videos involving children on his computer and cell phone. A dramatic moment during a police questioning at his home when detectives referenced their knowledge of his activity on the messaging app Kik, when he stood up, put his hands behind his back and said, quote, "I'm going to own this." Prosecutors say he used the app to distribute illegal images, and during questioning, Masowitz admitted to using AI to alter adult pornography so the women would instead look like children. In Hayden this morning, investigating the discovery of a body floating in Hayden Lake. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says that a fisherman was the first to report it, and while the preliminary investigation indicates no foul play, the cause of death is still being investigated. The identity of the victim has not been released yet due to pending notification of next of kin.
Indian Creek in Kuna is a popular destination for Treasure Valley floaters, which a local man is working to make safer and cleaner. I'm your Kuna neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey, talking to the man behind River Ridge Rescue.
You can call me keeper of the creek if you want.
Rich Kirkman is Kuna's Indian Creek keeper and started up River Ridge Rescue to help keep the creek clean.
I fell in love with it 2023, fell in love with it, but I didn't like all the trash. There was a lot of trash. Like a lot of trash.
So he started filling his boat with the trash he spotted while floating. Since 2023, he's hauled nearly 5,000 pounds of trash out of the creek and to the dump.
Every time I float, it's like, man, I can make this a fun little river for people to come float. So I decided to start naming all the rapids, making signs for them.
Signs like these now live along the banks, highlighting landmarks throughout the float.
This first rapid I named Pandora's Plunge. I thought it just fit perfect, you know?
And he has more signs on the way, like this one, warning floaters of the dangers in the creek.
This creek gets hairy. It's more like a river than a creek, and it's dangerous.
The community was reminded of that danger when a Kuna woman tragically drowned while floating Indian Creek last month.
It devastated us all. Everyone that I had known and met on the creek. It's a sad situation. We don't want it to happen again, ever.
Rich says he's floated the creek hundreds of times and wants to help people experience it safely.
If you're floating first time, don't do it by yourself. I'll take you down all the way and it'll be the funnest trip you've ever had.
The water flow to Indian Creek will be shut off starting Tuesday. As the water levels drop, Rich says he'll be removing trash and hazards ahead of next year's float season. Reporting in Kuna, I'm Brady Caskey for Idaho News 6.
When we get back, the latest on the ongoing government shutdown now dragging out for a full week. Now staffing shortages impacting airports across the country. Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. 10 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at your national headlines this morning. President Trump set to meet with Canada's Prime Minister at the White House today. A statement from Prime Minister Carney's office says the two world leaders will focus on economic and security relationship between the two countries. Canada hoping to negotiate some tariff relief after the president put 35% tariffs on exports from our northern neighbors. Last time the two leaders met face to face in May, Trump floated the idea of Canada becoming the 51st state, something Carney immediately shot down. The U.S. Supreme Court is set to listen to arguments Tuesday in a lawsuit over Colorado's ban on conversion therapy. It's a practice where licensed counselors try to convert gay people into heterosexuals. The country's leading medical groups have all denounced the practice. Colorado officially outlawed the practice on minors 6 years ago and is one of 25 states to do so. However, the lawsuit argues the ban violates people's First Amendment speech protections by deciding what counselors can and cannot discuss with their clients. And today marks the second anniversary of the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israel. A total of 1,195 people were killed in the attacks. To mark the solemn anniversary, a number of memorial events have been planned throughout the day at sites where some of the worst attacks took place, as well as in Tel Aviv. The attack prompted a brutal retaliation from Israel that has resulted in more than 67,000 deaths in Gaza. Turning now to the government shutdown in this country, dragging on for one full week now, impacting air travel. As Democrats and Republicans refuse to budge, we are seeing an uptick in sick calls from air traffic controllers who are, by the way, forced to work without pay. And staffing shortages are leading to flight delays. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest.
Overnight, at least one U.S. airport had no air traffic controllers on duty as staff began calling out sick amid the government shutdown. Burbank Airport's tower was unmanned Monday evening, with a team in San Diego taking over operations.
Clearance is closed, ground's closed, local's closed, the tower is closed due to staffing.
California Governor Gavin Newsom slamming President Trump on X, writing, "Thanks at Real Donald Trump, Burbank Airport has 0 air traffic controllers from 4:15 to 10 p.m. today because of your government shutdown. Air traffic controllers are required to work through the shutdown, but will only be paid retroactively once it ends."
What they think about as they're controlling our airspace is, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How do I make my car payment?
The staffing shortages triggering delays at major airports across the country, including Newark, Denver, and Phoenix. Smaller airports could also be affected. The Transportation Department says funds for the program that allows air carriers to service rural areas will expire next week. Prior to the shutdown, the FAA had already been facing staffing shortages. The Air Traffic Controllers Union saying it will continue partnering with the Department of Transportation to supercharge controller hiring and ensure America's aviation system remains the safest and most efficient in the world. President Trump is now calling on Democrats to reopen the government, writing on Truth Social, "I am happy to work with the Democrats on their failed health care policies or anything else, but first they must allow our government to reopen." Earlier, he implied negotiations are already underway.
We have a negotiation going on right now with the Democrats that could lead to very good things.
But Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer denying any talks are happening, saying it's up to the president to end the shutdown.
He's in charge. His party holds majorities across the government. So Americans naturally and correctly believe the burden is on him to fix this mess.
Yesterday, the Senate failed for a 5th time to pass spending measures that would reopen the government. President Trump had warned another failed vote would trigger mass layoffs of federal workers. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
No matter what happens with the shutdown, health insurance rates on Idaho's public health exchange will see another spike. The Idaho Department of Insurance says individual plans will increase by 10% on average. Group plans are up about 11%. Customers on Your Health Idaho can select offerings from 8 different health insurance carriers and 7 dental carriers. Open enrollment starts October 15th, but you can browse plans now.
Okay, neighborhood of the day is Eagle, where this afternoon you'll be touching into those lower 70s, plenty of sunshine, so don't forget the sunglasses. As we head through the week, we're moving on to more of a warming trend, so I'll be showing you how warm we get at the end of the week.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Okay, it is 6:17, and did you get to see the moon last night? If you didn't, maybe if you sneaked out a little bit earlier this morning, you could still see it up there. But either way, nice clear skies, and we got sent in this photo from Cody Alexander Cameron, and you'll notice that as you start to take a look at this, it's huge, and it appears that our moon looks brighter. But why is this? As the moon travels, it goes in an elliptical orbit around the Earth. So as we start to take a look at this, our perigee is when it's at the closest point to the Earth, so that's why it appears about 14% larger and 30% brighter. So if you got any good shots of the moon last night, make sure to send them in so we can show them off throughout the morning. The opposite is an apogee, so that's when it's furthest from us, and it looks a little bit smaller. And in comparison, you can't really tell the difference when it's not side by side, but if you did see it last night, send in those photos. For our lows overnight, take a look at how cold some of us got. You got over to 30 in Baker City, 23 in Stanley, 32 over into Twin Falls. As you start to get ready for your morning ahead right now, we're sitting in those mid-40s across downtown, 39 over into Ontario. Baker City sits at about 36. This afternoon, not too much change from yesterday. You've got those lower 70s on the board. But as we start to move through the afternoon, you'll notice that winds are going to increase. So get a little bit breezier into this afternoon ahead. By 3 o'clock, some spots are already getting near 20 miles per hour, but even breezier by 2 o'clock tomorrow. So we get almost near across all of our neighborhoods near that 25-mile-per-hour mark. So expect breezy conditions to develop late afternoon today and to follow us into tomorrow. The biggest reason we're seeing this right now, we have this warm up from this upper level ridge building in our atmosphere. As we move through the next couple days, this trough is slowly going to make its way down to the U.S. As it does, that's going to increase our pressure gradient at the surface, which is the driving force for wind. So that's why breezy conditions will pick up today and tomorrow. On top of that, take a look at what happens as we head into our weekend. This is going to bring in all of that rain and cooler weather as we start to develop more of a northwesterly flow, so all of that cool Arctic air making its way and dropping our temperatures back down. It also brings on that dusting of snow across our east and west central mountains. So just a heads up, we are looking at some unsettled weather developed into the weekend. By the time we head into next week, we'll see a slight little warm up for a bit, but then behind that, another cooler weather maker comes through, and then that warm up comes in again. So we're kind of going up and down as we head through the month of October. Even this week is a good example of that. As you head into Thursday and Friday, notice temperatures 79 into Thursday, 76 by Friday. Going to be a little bit warmer. So if we do see an 80, looks like that'll be coming for our Thursday, and then temperatures fall dramatically into the weekend. Either way, your forecast still looks good. There's plenty of sunshine on the week ahead, just a little bit warmer by Thursday. Temperatures over the weekend start to cool to those 50s, and we see those slight chances of shower moving down to about 30%. So it looks pretty slight. Even into next week, temperatures are going to start with the 50s, and then we see those 70s return by Tuesday.
After a bumpy start to the school year, including canceled classes, we're checking back in with the Jerome School District as they sort out issues with their busing system. I'm your Jerome neighborhood reporter, Lori in Nettleton, talking to parents who say things still aren't going according to plan.
And we got several emails saying that they were going to fix the issues, but it's even worse, to be honest, in my opinion.
Maggie Trejo has two daughters, one in middle school and one in high school. They're scheduled to get picked up around 6:15 every morning and walk 10 minutes from their house on an unlit rural road.
It's really dark, and my concern is because there's no street lights in our neighborhood, because we live in the country, so there's no street lights.
Maggie told me a lot of her concerns would be fixed if the driver would pick up the girls at their address as they had for 10 years before.
And clearly in my email says that my kids are going to be picked up in our, address, but they are not being picked up.
How do we do this best? How do we accommodate everyone in a way that's safe, reduces route times, and uses our bus capacities to the best possible? Because there's facets on every side of that conversation,
Jerome Superintendent Brent Johnson says at the start of the school year they were swamped with rider correction requests and complaints, tying up the phone lines and overflowing the voicemail. I went to the school at the beginning of the year and heard some of those complaints in the pickup line.
Filled out the form, we did everything, and they're still not picking up our kids.
Since then, the school district created a web form for parents to submit their corrections, and they ended up with about 700 forms. Now Johnson says the volume of complaints has slowed to a trickle and recommends parents like Trejo reach out to the transit services directly. Trejo says she's tried calling but hasn't heard back.
This was not only a great undertaking, it was challenging, but it's also one that's going to pay dividends for our community and our staff and students. I don't know that we're ever going to be like, it's all good, we're all good forever, and it's fantastic. We want to continually work to improve.
Parents who still have concerns are encouraged to contact the Jerome School District Transportation Services directly. I'm your Jerome neighborhood reporter, Lori in Nettleton, Idaho News 6.
6:25. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Idaho, everyone. We've got a lot more in store for you. Here's a look at what's still to come from your neighborhood reporters.
I'll show you how you can help the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans.
In Mountain Home, City Council candidates face questions from voters, what residents want to know, and what City Council has to say to them.
Now a look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
Connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Good Morning Idaho. Working our way through a Tuesday morning. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, and into our last half hour we have lots more to get to from our large team of neighborhood reporters. Like new this morning, our Sahana Patel is breaking down the city council race in Mountain Home as 5 of the 6 candidates spoke to a large crowd of voters, laying out their respective priorities for the city. Plus, at 5:45, an Idaho News 6 exclusive where I'm going to highlight an automotive trend in newer vehicles you may not have heard about that can actually be life-threatening in an emergency situation. We'll tell you how to get out of that. But first, let's get the latest on our weather with Sophia Cruz to start things off as you get ready to head out the door this morning. Another chilly morning, but it's going to be a nice day, hopefully.
Yeah, it's another chilly start with sunshine moving through our afternoon, and as we move to the end of the week, things are actually going to warm up. So I'll show you those details coming up in a bit. But take a look at the supermoon last night. We got sent in this photo from Cody, Alexander, and Cameron, and you'll notice that as you start to make your way through the day ahead, it looks pretty large right now. So if you can still catch it out there, maybe send in a photo if you get a good one, or even if you saw it last night and you got a good photo, send those in too. For the kiddos heading into the bus stops this morning, notice that you've got mid-40s as you head out to start the day. By the afternoon and evening ahead, upper 60s. Nice sunshine continues on, so not too much change just yet. Roland.
All right, thanks, Sophia. Appreciate it. It's going to be a great day, everyone. We start in the news this morning with the major overnight development in Nampa that we've been following for months and months now, all about the Ford Idaho Center. A story new this morning, Keith Burrell has Nampa City Council's final decision.
After weeks of listening to public feedback and discussion amongst council, Nampa City Council has voted 4-2 to convey the Ford Idaho Center to the College of Western Idaho. I'm your Nampa neighborhood reporter Keith Brill, and I was in chambers for all 6 hours of public testimony. A vote.
4 in favor, 2 opposed, motion carries.
Addressing growth in Nampa.
For the 50% of you that this is going to make real upset, I hope you remembered all the decisions that I made before this moment and all that I'll continue fighting to make after the fact. Yes.
The Ford Idaho Center is one step closer to being owned by the College of Western Idaho. And the next step in the process is going to be a vote by College of Western Idaho's board, and this college tells me that that's going to happen in the next few weeks. From Nampa, I'm your Nampa neighborhood reporter Keith Burrell for Idaho News 6.
For Idaho News 6, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson. The DAV, Disabled American Veterans, they need help. They need drivers to pick up veterans from around the Treasure Valley and get them to the VA hospital.
We are in need of drivers.
Veterans have given so much to us, and they're the last group to ask for help, but they need our support.
It's incredibly important.
Ronald Coleman is a Vietnam veteran who has helped organize drivers in the past to get vets to and from the VA in Boise.
If we don't have a driver, those people are left be really on their own to try to get here, and it can be expensive. They have to ask for help from family or neighbors.
I asked volunteer Peter Tedrow, why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Because I love to do it. I love to give back to the veterans. I'm a veteran myself, and we got to help each other out. They are so grateful. As a matter of fact, we get thanked every single day.
As Ronald Coleman puts it, it's so much more than just giving them a ride. It gives them a chance to talk with someone.
And that conversation, you learn so much about each other.
Right.
I mean, you got 5 or 6 of you in the van. Everybody's talking about what they've done or where they're going or how they're feeling. It gives them somebody to talk to, somebody to care about them.
Volunteer driver Annette Tedrow says, as a volunteer, you get back more than you could ever imagine.
What we get back and what the veterans, they are so excited and they're like looking forward. Oh, hey, Annette, it's you. It's not, and it's like, it does. It pulls on your heartstrings. You learn about their families. Their wives will help them out to the van. Well, make sure he gets back, and I'm like, I will not be late to pick up a veteran.
If you'd like to help out, contact the DAV in Boise. Reporting in Ada County, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson, Idaho News 6.
Multiple crashes left major highways in Idaho blocked for hours this past weekend. Take a look at this semi-rollover, completely blocking eastbound I-84 west of Middleton on Sunday. Also Sunday, a 32-year-old woman airlifted after her car rolled and caught fire while heading south on Highway 55 near Horseshoe Bend. The crash closing the roadway in both directions for about 3 hours. And just yesterday, a hot air balloon landing in a Meridian neighborhood near Rocky Mountain High School. In this video shared with us by a viewer, you can see the balloon touching down in the middle of the street. Thankfully, no one was injured.
A public forum in Mountain Home gave voters a chance to question city council candidates. I'm your Mountain Home neighborhood reporter, Sahana Patel. Candidates were pressed on key issues from public safety to local business support, and I asked them if they were elected what their top priority would be. 6 candidates are running for 2 open seats on the Mountain Home City Council.
We have 5 of those here with us this evening.
A public forum held Monday night, drawing a large crowd of residents who submitted questions ahead of time by email. Topics ranged from city budgets and infrastructure to how Mountain Home can do more for local businesses to keep families in town rather than heading to Boise. I also submitted a question asking the candidates what their main focus for Mountain Home would be if elected.
My top priority is going to be a re-examination of what we have now and how we are handling that now and how we justify what we're doing now.
We need to make sure that our citizens are safe, they feel safe, and that we have a safe city. There's so much going on. And that's my top priority we're going to look at.
Collaboration, communication, and conservation. Collaborating with those in Mountain Home who are here. We have a city full of talented individuals and talented groups. I think that we are not utilizing them in the way that we should be.
For me, it's going back to what a municipality is supposed to provide in the services and planning out what it's wastewater, water, streets. Let's have these plans and set so again that it lasts beyond this election of that.
Making sure we have economic opportunities here for our residents. Making sure we have reasons for our residents to stay here in town and recreate instead of they themselves going up to Boise.
The 6th candidate, Kelly Thomas, was not in attendance. The 2 candidates elected this November will each serve a 4-year term on the Mountain Home City Council. Elections will take place Tuesday, November 4th. I'm your Mountain Home neighborhood reporter, Sahana Patel, for Idaho News 6.
A public hearing at Star City Hall that was originally planned for today has been delayed to a later date because of a mass interest and public outreach effort, according to the city. The hearing will center around the city's plans to move forward with plans to annex a 2,000-acre parcel of BLM land between Highway 16, Firebird Raceway, and the Hillsdale development. The annexation could lead to commercial development, restrict long-standing public uses like shooting or hiking, and threaten the historic Basque sheep migration route.
Combining art and the Idaho outdoors, I'm your Eagle neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, learning how the week-long Plein Air Festival is bringing neighbors together creatively.
This is our 11th year celebrating the beauty of painting outdoors and really attracting people from all over the United States to come to southern Idaho to paint the outdoor landscape.
The city of Eagle has become an open-air studio with more than 90 artists scattered.
They're spending all week creating original works of art out in the community, so you can find them all over town. We have a big schedule at eaglepleinair.com where you can see the daily activities.
One of the most popular drawing points, daily hands-on demonstrations that invite anyone to try their hand at painting.
We bring in professional teaching artists to do a free demonstration every day between 11 and 1, so the community is welcome to come.
The festival is also about building Eagle's reputation as an arts destination.
It really puts Eagle on the map for being a center of arts. And kind of the magic of this event is it turns painting into a spectator sport.
The Plein Air Festival runs through Saturday with public demos, live competitions, and the chance to meet artists on location. I'm your Eagle neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
6:37 on a Tuesday. Let's take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood today. ITD closing a stretch of Highway 21 north of Grand Jean this morning at 7. The closure is set to last 2 days while crews complete emergency repairs caused by that landslide back in August. The roadway is scheduled to reopen by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Leaf recycling in Nampa is now underway, with Nampa Parks and Rec asking citizens to donate their loose leaves to be turned into valuable mulch for the city's parks. That time of year, everyone. Residents can drop off loose leaves at Nampa's Kohler Lawn Cemetery on weekdays from 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 p.m. The program runs through December 12th, and starting November 8th, leaf recycling will also be accepted on Saturdays from 10 to 2. And if you're looking for something to do tonight, Mania, the ABBA tribute band performing at the Egyptian Theater. They advertise as the world's #1 touring ABBA tribute and have been selling out theaters and concert halls internationally since their inception in 1999. Doors open at 6:30 with the show set to start an hour later. Tickets are still available as of this morning.
In Twin Falls, how the city plans to repurpose the old city council chambers. This building doesn't look like much from the outside, but it's rich in Twin Falls history, and its new chapter is about to begin. I'm your Twin Falls neighborhood reporter Joey Martin at the old city council chambers, learning how this space will now serve a new purpose for the city.
We've seen a lot of growth in the last 20 years, and a lot of that came through here.
For 2 decades, every aspect of Twin Falls city life came through this building, from how the water bill works to what the parks look like.
We had some water supply issues back in the day. The city council in this room put in regulations for potable water versus pressure irrigation. Those decisions still impact us today, and they're helping us.
The building was also ground zero for major decisions that would eventually bring big business and major development to the Magic Valley.
Folks like Jayco, Chobani, Cliff Bar, all of those decisions were made here in this room. A lot of development. I mean, this room was where our Planning and Zoning Commission and our city council met to deal with a lot of property development type decisions.
But after moving to the new chambers in 2017, the building sat mostly vacant, serving as a temporary gym space for city employees. Now, thanks to $1.4 million in city budgeted funds, the old chamber gets a new purpose.
This part of the building, the gym part of the building, will actually be turned into offices for the city attorney's team. And the back of the building will be remodeled to accommodate the gym.
City attorneys currently share a small office at City Hall, so this new space will allow the growing department room to expand. And the location couldn't be better.
This building makes a lot of sense for the city attorneys to move over here because it's right across the street from the police department, and they work very close with the police department.
Construction is expected to get underway in the next couple of weeks, wrapping up in early spring of 2026. Reporting in Twin Falls, I'm your neighborhood reporter Joey Martin, Idaho News 6.
Neighborhood of the day is Eagle, where this afternoon we'll be touching into those lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine. I'll be showing you the week ahead coming up.
Cars these days have all sorts of safety measures. There's traction control, airbags just about everywhere, and of course seatbelts. But there's one change in newer cars that could actually put you at risk. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, and this new danger is hard to see because it's hidden inside your window. Tempered safety glass shatters to keep you from being badly cut in case of a car crash. The pieces are generally not sharp.
It shatters into a million little pieces and it's gone.
But to prevent a windshield from shattering while you're driving, it's got a thin sheet of invisible plastic through the center, a laminate. But now, some manufacturers are using similar glass on side windows too.
The main reason for that is to help reduce road noise.
Here's the thing that makes this problematic. These are 2 panes of glass, and I have no idea really which one is laminated. I thought at first it was this one because it looks more expensive, but it's not. It's this one, and it's really hard to tell the difference. And laminated glass is almost impossible to break, as Heaton demonstrates. This can be a serious liability if you accidentally drive your car into water, like one of Idaho's many rivers, and need to escape. Rescue personnel are equipped to cut through the glass, but even for them, it's not exactly quick or easy.
It would be tempered and pop. We go, okay, it's laminated. We're going to have to work a little bit harder to get through this. Tempered makes our job very easy, right? It makes it safe for us, makes it safe for the patient. It clears immediately.
But it's vital to know if you have laminate windows or not, in case you end up in an emergency all alone.
obviously panic sets in at that point, and you may not know which door glass you're just going to break the closest one to you.
And that can waste valuable time.
You just need to know so that you can make appropriate actions to which door glass am I going to break if I need to break one.
To do that, check the stamp at the bottom of the window to see if it says tempered or laminated. You can also roll down your window, and if you see a line through the middle of the edge of the window like this, it's laminated. If your front side windows are laminated, Heaton says the only way out if you end up submerged in water is to move to the back seat and break out one of those windows, which are almost never laminated. In Meridian, I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, Idaho News 6.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Okay, well, happy Tuesday to you. I hope you're having a good start to your week and that you got a good night's rest. Now, as you get ready for your start of your morning, you'll notice it's pretty chilly out here. You've got 43 waking up in Boise, 35 over in McCall, 26 in Stanley. So some of us may be waking up to some frosty conditions this morning. As we head into this afternoon, it's not going to look too different from yesterday, and it'll actually be a pretty nice day ahead. You get those lower 70s along your valley floors, 66 over in Stanley, and 61 in Ketchum this afternoon. One thing you'll start to notice as we head into today is that winds will increase. So we see gusts potentially anywhere from 16 over to 25 miles per hour, but even breezier by tomorrow afternoon, where we start to see a lot of these gusts just anywhere in those upper teens to middle 20s. So again, it is going to be pretty breezy over the next couple days. The reason why we're seeing this is there's this upper level ridge, which is bringing us a nice little warm up as we head into the end of our week. But what it's also going to do is interact with this trough that's coming in. As it starts to drop down to the U.S., this is going to increase that pressure gradient at the surface, which is the driving force of wind, and why we're going to start to see breezy conditions develop today and into tomorrow. Now behind that, it'll bring in some showers and some unsettled weather through the weekend. Notice that this light blue, that's dusting of snow on the way. Exciting. Yes, it's getting pretty exciting out here. You get some rain also moving through with that in our valley floors, and this trend continues all the way into early next week. Behind that, we start to see a little bit of a warm up heading into October 15th. So when you take a look at October overall, it looks to be a pretty big temperature roller coaster for us, and this week is even an example of that. Notice that as you head into today, lower 70s, tomorrow upper 70s, and then we have the possibility of reaching an 80 heading into Thursday. Temperatures though cool dramatically as we head into Sunday, and you start to see those mid 50s on the board. Either way, our temperature outlook shows us that while we do warm up this week into next October 13th through the 17th, pretty good confidence in seeing cooler than normal temperatures, and it's going to be overall a pretty good week ahead either way. Now, McCall yesterday saw a lot of sunshine. That'll be the same story today. Mid 60s as you head into your Wednesday, Thursday, lower 70s, and you see those rain showers move in both Friday and Saturday. Sunday, we're going to start to see a little bit of a mix here as temperatures cool in the morning, so you may get that slight dusting of snow at those higher ridge tops, especially on our mountains across our east and our west central ones. For the week ahead, though, it's still a good week for some outdoor activities. You get a little bit warmer by Thursday and into Friday, but other than that, 60s as you head over into Saturday, slight chances of showers heading into Sunday, and then the cool weather just continues on until about Monday, and then that really nice 70 returns into next Tuesday. So still a good week for some outdoor activities. Before we get outside though, we've got to get you into work and into school. Right now it's 6:50. Let's take a look at your commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
All right, 6:50 is your time, and we're giving you a look of downtown where it's Tuesday morning. The sun is slowly making its way up. As it does so, it's going to feel pretty nice out there. I-84 eastbound already looking at some slow up. No surprises here, and also on Carter Road as you start to head into that westbound lane. Again, though, as you approach I-84 eastbound and near Garrity is where you'll run into that slowdown. Closer to downtown, nice and quiet this morning, so no changes there really. And we were looking at a little slow up near West State Street as you crossed Highway 16, but it looks all nice and quiet into our Tuesday morning.
In this morning's GMA First Look, surviving an elephant charge. Watch as a massive elephant protecting the herd's young calves charges this group on a canoe safari in Botswana, flipping over the boat.
Actually, the first thought that came to my mind was,
this is the end of me.
Jeff Melvin and Larry Unrain from New York were on that tour boat that they say started as an incredible adventure, but took an unexpected turn as they approached the herd of elephants. And this morning, they're telling their story to GMA.
In the blink of an eye, things kind of changed. I've never, ever feared for my life. Not like that.
Within minutes, the elephant begins charging toward them. And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more of this harrowing safari story. With your GMA First Look, I'm Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
Welcome back to Good Morning Idaho, everybody. We're just wrapping up here on a Tuesday morning. In case you missed it, these are the top stories that we're following from our neighborhood reporters.
In Mountain Home, City Council candidates face questions from voters. 6 candidates are running for 2 open seats on the Mountain Home City Council. A public forum held Monday night, drawing a large crowd of residents who submitted questions ahead of time by email. Topics ranged from city budgets and infrastructure to how Mountain Home can do more for local businesses to keep families in town rather than heading to Boise.
Indian Creek in Kuna is a popular destination for Treasure Valley floaters, which a local man is working to make cleaner and safer. Rich Kirkman runs River Ridge Rescue and has cleaned nearly 5,000 pounds of trash out of Indian Creek. He also makes signs naming the rapids and warning floaters of hazards.
Laminated glass has been in windshields for more than 70 years, but a new trend has laminated glass in a lot of side windows as well. The problem is you can't tell which ones are which.
Panic sets in at that point, and you may not know which door glass. You're just going to break the closest one to you.
And in an emergency like a water landing, the laminated glass is almost impossible to break out. The key is to know which glass in your car is laminated and which can easily be broken out with a window punch. And of course, you can learn more about all these stories on our website. Just head to idahonews6.com.
Now, the Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
Okay, it is 6:57, and as you get ready to start your morning, grab the light jacket. It's chilly through our mornings now, mid-40s into 9 a.m. By lunchtime, you start to touch into those 60s, and later this afternoon, you won't really need the light jacket. It'll be nice and in the 70s, plenty of sunshine throughout the day. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get you ready now for your Tuesday morning commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
6:57 is your time, and we're giving you a live look of downtown where commuters are starting to head out on what's going to be a great Tuesday. Showing you the roads right now. There is a little slowdown as you start to go onto Highway 16, both in that north and southbound lane. Moving a little bit closer around the area, I-84 eastbound, you will run into some slowdown as you approach 10 Mile Road and Meridian. So just a heads up to drive safe and slowly along I-84 eastbound, Cobble to Garrity, just under 18 minutes. Garrity into Eagle under 10, and Eagle into downtown Boise just under 8 minutes. So it's a little slow up this morning. Roll in. We have a new guest we want to introduce. Well, I guess he's not a guest. He works here now.
Yeah, it's a new arrival, I guess.
Yeah, his name is Sunny. He's our weather bear. He just started yesterday. So here's some photos. His first morning meeting that we have every day.
That's right.
Yes, he brought his jacket because it was a little chilly.
Right.
Then he learned our weather system throughout the afternoon, and then he also got some practice on the green screen, and then there was his first day photo. You know, everyone has to take one of those.
Well, right, but the idea is he gives us an idea of what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah,
right?
and he's going to help the kiddos get ready. Even today, he's got a light jacket on, and the jacket says sunshine all day. So he's already ready. He's got his hat in case it gets a little breezier, but he's got a nice outfit on.
Having a little fun this time of year. That's
lots
pretty
of fun.
cool.
He's excited.
Right. Sunny, welcome to the team. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. Hope you have a great day, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow.